Welcome back, everybody, to the Hitchhikers podcast, Internet Hitchhikers podcast. I know it's been, about 2.5 months, more than that, since we had our last show. Today we're going to talk about Moto 360, the iPhone, some new software, video games, movies, a whole bunch of good stuff. First up, we are going to switch around our order first. We're going to have Nima talk about the iPhone 6 Plus since he recently got it. So what do you think about it? And it looks like he's having some connection issues. All right, let's see.
Okay, we're back. Very professional here. Okay.
I see you're having connection issues.
Yes, it's fixed now. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, so iPhone 6 Plus. I've both played with the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus. I'm going to just give you my overview of what I think about it first and then talk about each individual part of the phone that I like. I would not get this phone as my personal phone. My company got this phone for me, and the only reason I went with the 6 Plus is because of my job. I tend to use my phone a lot for pictures, and then for taking notes I use my iPad a lot. And if I didn't mention before, I'm a HVAC engineer, so I'm in a lot of tight spaces and basements of buildings in Springfield. That many of them are older than 60, 50 years, so it's tight spaces. So I don't like to have my iPad in my hand; it's too big. So I went with the iPhone 6 Plus. To me, it's a perfect size. It's not too big for what I want it to do, and not too small. And I can pull up some stuff. A lot of the times I open up PDF drawings on my phone. On my iPad when I go to the job site. But with my iPhone, you can just open it if it opens up, and it's perfect sizing. It doesn't show perfectly here, but it's perfect sizing. I can zoom in, look at every room. I can look at everything in here. With an old iPhone, I wasn't able to even focus on a certain room and see all the ductwork. Here, I can literally look at the entire blueprint and look at the whole building, and I can see everything. So it's a perfect work phone. But when it comes to everyday use, it's a little too big. That's why I believe it's a good work phone and not a good personal phone.
Okay. What do you think about software?
I'm not too happy about iOS 8. I've been having a lot of lagging issues. For example, in Facebook, it's not a thing of it. It's apps that use iOS 8. It's not iOS 8 itself. I did have some of the bugs that they mentioned in their recent update. One of them was when you watched videos, it would, if you double tap the home button, the video will come down and won't go back up. We would have to exit the app and go back inside of the app. I had issues like that, but my main issues are with certain apps. Facebook Messenger, or is that what it's called? Facebook, yeah, Messenger. If I want to send someone a picture out of my photo stream, the only thing, if for some reason it started allowing me to do, was my videos. None of the pictures, just my videos. And when I went to send the videos, I tried to test it, the app would crash. So there's a bunch of different apps that I've noticed have issues with iOS 8. So I don't know if that's something that the app developers would work on, or iOS needs to work. I don't know what exactly needs to happen for these apps to work perfectly. And also, uh, I do like that you can have it go in landscape mode by turning it, but 90% of the apps don't use that in their apps. So
Yeah, because
if I go to
most of these apps have been made for people holding the phone portrait this whole time.
yeah, but a perfect example for me was Amazon. I went to Amazon. I have my orders coming today, so I'm looking at it, and I had to scroll down to see everything. And if I could just hold it landscape, I could see multiple things that I've ordered and track them. I have Amazon open right now, and I can see two products here. And if it was landscape, I believe I could see 4 at a time. So it's not that big of a deal. I think it's if you have that option on your phone, you should be able to use the apps in landscape.
Yeah, they just need to update it to support the higher resolutions and to actually be useful for people because aren't a lot of them? I know a lot of apps have been updated to iOS 8.
A lot of
With
them have, and
compatibility.
I noticed a lot of my weeks. For example, today, OneNote, Shazam, Amazon updated. Yesterday, Waze, Hulu, then Vine, Instagram. All these, there's updates almost every single day for my apps. So they keep updating it to catch up with iOS 8.
Okay. So
And
speaking,
one more thing is, I am in love with this camera. Uh, like I said, I'm in a lot of low light uh, parts of certain buildings, and with my iPhone 5s, I had to use a flashlight and the camera to take the picture. Because flash would cause everything to be too blurry, not blurry, but shiny, reflective. And with the perfect angle on the flashlight and the camera, I could take the picture. This, I don't need to use any. This is perfect with low light in a low light situation.
okay. So speaking of big phones, Google has announced a couple of products. The Nexus 9, which is 9-inch, 8.9-inch tablet, the Nexus 6, which is a 5.9-inch phone, which is way bigger than most people are used to. It's even bigger than the iPhone 6 Plus, which the 6 Plus is 5.5 inches. Um, Surprisingly, I'm trying to get the Nexus 6. Trying to see if I can get it through my work account because I said the Nexus 5 would be too big at some point, which at 5 inches because I really loved the 4.7 size of like the Moto X, the Galaxy Nexus, which was around the same size. The iPhone 5 was the same screen size. Um, but I love Nexus. I love Google products. So if I can get the Nexus 6, without paying for it, that'd be great. Now, it's definitely going to be way bigger than I'm used to, but we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, over the past 2 months, I got the Moto 360. So I had the LG G Watch for Android Wear. I sold that, then bought the 360. It's definitely one of the more premium watches, round stainless steel bezel all around. There's even a little crown button there to turn the screen on and off. It auto detects when your hand is at a certain angle and turns on automatically, and has built-in heart rate monitor, tracks your steps. All of them do. They all have pedometer built in. And initially, if anybody's read the initial reviews of the Moto 360, everybody said it had terrible battery life, or you can just barely get a day out of it if you didn't keep the ambient mode on, which basically kept the screen on in low power mode all day. But with the screen off, yeah, you can stretch it to just about a day. The great part is, well, that thing is that turned off a lot of people from actually getting the watch. I got it because I could. Um, and well, the great thing is a couple more software updates later, it actually has improved battery life. Some people see almost a 50% increase, which is great. Usually at the end of the day, I'd be around 30% or so. Now I'm at 50% before I go to bed. So I could go to the next day, but who's really going to do that unless
Yeah.
you're stranded somewhere? But I don't think your watch is going to be really handy at that point. Has a wireless charger, so you don't actually have to plug anything in because there's no physical plug on the watch itself. So it comes with a little cradle, which just by contact it starts charging. Uses the same technology as the other phones called Qi. Same as the Nexus 5, the Nexus tablet. So I'm really liking it. It's nice and light. I know it comes in black, comes in silver. I'm waiting for the newer software update, which will make it more compatible with Android Lollipop, which is Android 5.0. They also unveiled that, um, which I will talk about next. Um, so in addition to Google unveiling their devices, they back in Google I/O back in was it July, they uh, they unveiled Apple style their new operating system for their mobile devices. The thing is, what they did different was they only let you preview it up until its release date, which is next week actually. So usually they just announce it and then a week later people can download it, but they actually went the whole summer without the normal population being able to get it. So it brings along a lot of visual refresh, which is cool. Um, One feature I really like, which is called Smart Lock. So it's integrated at an OS level. I can, if you pair a Bluetooth device with it, it'll stay unlocked even if you have a PIN code as long as it's in the vicinity of the phone. So as long as my phone's in my pocket or within 30 feet, my watch keeps it unlocked. Or even when I get in the car, my Bluetooth in the car unlocks it. Um, Another subtle feature they call, you can even get a NFC sticker. And if you have a dock in the car, for example, you put the sticker right there. As long as it's making contact with that NFC sticker, it'll stay unlocked. When you take it off, locks.
Hmm.
Another great thing they brought is multiple profiles.
Is that a
Yeah.
third-party thing, or they're doing it themselves?
Nope. So that's all built into the software now.
Okay.
Up until then, and like when I was on KitKat, I was using another app called Pebble Locker actually, which would keep the phone unlocked. But the cool part is it also unlocked when I was on other Wi-Fi networks. But this is just Bluetooth. It can actually sense your face too, which is cool. I haven't tried that out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Another cool thing, I know your niece and nephew, they may want to take your phone and play games. So let's say you had a phone with Lollipop on it, you can do what's called screen pinning. So you would choose whatever app you want. Let's just say, okay, Angry Birds. You hit the recent button, same way you would double tap on the iPhone to bring up the apps, and you'll see just a little circle with a pin on it on that particular app. You hit that, you can secure it with a pin screen, so they can't easily just back out of it. They can't hit home button. The minute they turn off the phone, it'll ask for a PIN number to unlock it again. So they have no way to get out of that app unless you put in your PIN number. So also great if somebody just needs to borrow your phone to, I don't know, go on the internet or just use to make a call, so you know they won't be going through the rest of your phone, going through your pictures, text messages. The only bad thing is, which a lot of people will say is, let's say you want to show people a particular picture. You can't pin that one picture. You can pin the gallery, which meaning they can go through all your pictures, but they can't get out of your gallery.
Hmm. That's one of my pet peeves when you hand someone your phone, when you hand them a picture, and you say, "Hey, look at the picture," and then the first thing they do after they look at it for half a second, they start going back and forth, looking at your other pictures.
Or even people that aren't exactly in this generation that may not know how swiping on a phone works. So I know we experienced that way years ago. You give somebody a touchscreen phone, they're like, "Oh, pretty," and then like the side of their finger will hit this side of the screen, and it starts scrolling to something else.
Yeah.
And they'll say like, "Oh, I don't know what I do. Take it, take it." So that'll still probably happen, but at least with the gallery. And the last thing is they let you actually create multiple accounts on the phone, which was before limited to tablets. So you can totally have an account on my phone secured by your own password. I can't get into it. You can have your own apps, um, your own data. The only thing is, it's still the same phone number. So let's say I can give you access to get phone calls. So I don't know. I can let you borrow my phone for the day, but I tested it out myself. If I let you have access, there's just a little checkbox that says let other users have access to calls and messages. If I do that, you have access to all my text messages and all my phone calls. So it's not just whatever came in from the time I gave you the phone. It's you can see what I texted somebody a month back. So it's either all or nothing. But hopefully they'll fix that. All right. So on to news. We will have you talk about Age of Ultron. What do you think about it?
I recently, with all their movies, I just got very into Marvel. I started reading, what should we call it? Comic books online on my iPad, and I got very into Wolverine's. Crap, what's it called? Old Man Logan. And once I started reading that, I just went all into the Avengers and read about them and everything. And so I actually got the original backstory to Ultron. And so I'm like, okay, now I have a good understanding of what the movie's going to be about, who Ultron is and everything. And then the trailer comes out, and he's nothing like the Ant-Man actually builds Ultron as a robot.
Yep.
And not even a robot that can move, just a big machine kind of a robot that calls him his daddy, and it's a baby kind of. He acts like he's a baby because he's just born, but
it's got a little weird, but
yeah. And then he starts controlling, using mind control to escape, and then uses mind control on Jarvis. Jarvis in the comic books is an actual over. It makes him do things for him, and he keeps upgrading. So he's called Ultron 5 or Ultron 6, and each time he upgrades till he uses adamantium for his outer shell body, and then he's invincible. From the trailer, I think what they've changed is he's one of the suits that Tony Stark built in Iron Man 3 that he used in that battle, and who gains consciousness and decides to go against them. And there's a scene where you see like some kind of melted metal rolling off of a metal hand. Nothing's happening to the metal hand, so I think that's the scene where he gets upgraded to a full adamantium suit.
Is he adamantium?
He in the comic book, I think after his 5th or 6th upgrade, he is adamantium. So he and every time they beat him, he comes back stronger, and he fixes the whatever whatchamacallit he had previous. So you see in the trailer, you see him looking. He has 3 different looks. First is the beat up Iron Man suit looking type. Second one was when he looks back to Scarlet Witch and what's his name? Silver, Quicksilver. He's like greenish blue color, and then you see him as full adamantium with his face. With when you look at him at the end when he says, "I have no strength," that's I think that's full adamantium.
Okay.
People are having fun with that online. Oh, and one more thing. I don't know if you've noticed that in the trailer, but I watched that trailer at least 20 times. But you know how Bruce Banner looks all depressed and beat up and everything? If you notice the scene where he's sitting there and he's wrapped up in his own clothes and just he looks depressed, you don't see Tony Stark.
Yeah, somebody pointed
out. So I think what's going on, huh?
Yes, I saw somebody pointed that out in an article.
Oh yeah, so I think what happened is when you see that Hulkbuster suit, I think that battle happens somewhere in the middle, and he beats up Iron Man. He does something to him that he's at that point he's very upset about it.
Now, granted, we did know at least half year. I'm gonna round up to a year that they said outright that Ant-Man was not going to be the one creating Ultron.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So
I wish I knew that. I wouldn't be going reading all those comics. They're not great either because they're from way back when. So they're okay. They're good, but personally, I know that they call it the golden age of comics and stuff, but I think this was actually Silver Age. But I'm a big modern comic book fan.
Yeah. So, and because the Ant-Man movie's coming out about a month after Avengers, so it looks like Tony Stark's going to be like the indirect creator of Ultron this time, unless he just Ultron shows up out of nowhere. But they said Ant-Man is not creating him.
The only issue I have with that is Ant-Man created a robot, like I said, that's not really a moving robot. That the robot itself keeps building himself up and upgrading itself. But here, he's basically a full humanoid robot. So I feel like
it could be similar to Brainiac.
Yeah.
Could be similar, to Brainiac from Superman, where
yeah,
Brainiac was built for good on, was it Krypton? I could be wrong, but then, comes back. So in breaking news, which you've probably seen, is CVS, along with other retailers, apparently don't like the idea of Apple Pay and Google Wallet and touchless payments. So they've been working they've been working on their own form of payment system, apparently, called Currency. So I actually read before the show. I decided to go to CVS and test this myself. I got some Arizona and some chips, and as usual, I get Google Wallet out. It has my CVS card in there as well. I show it, they scan it, and then I go and tap to pay with my phone, and it said alternate form of payment required. The lady, of course, didn't know what was going on. Not blaming her, but most people don't actually know that you could pay with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's like, oh, maybe I hit a wrong button. Tried it again. Didn't work. I'm like, okay. Just gave a little smile to her. I'm like, well, it's done. And I went on this minute-long explanation of what's going on in the industry, and she could care less. But I just got out my credit card and, asked for cash back. So this is beginning of the end. Because to sum it all up,
when they say currency, is that still using the NFC chip in the phone, but different app?
No, not at all.
That's stupid.
I'll try to condense it because I'm bad at condensing. Basically, first I'll say this is similar to a few years ago because if you've heard of Isis Mobile Wallet, which they rebranded to SoftCard, um, the three carriers, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, they were all blocking Google Wallet, actively blocking Google Wallet, because they were working on Isis. And then that finally came out, and it flopped. Nobody's using it. I even had to sell it when I was working at my old job, but nobody wanted it. So, and that was a form of touchless payment. It's just the thing is, Google Wallet is open, and so is Apple. Actually, Apple is probably easier to use using Google Wallet, from what I've heard. But now CVS and other retailers, other pharmacies and stuff, they're basically doing the same thing. They have a consortium of stores that they want to get a cut of all this. So basically, they're going to have you download an app, scan a QR code, download it at some point, and then upload it somewhere for like coupons and savings, all because these places don't want to pay the credit networks like Discover the whatever percentage, 2% they have to them just for using the mobile payments. So they basically all want the cut for themselves. So basically, they're stifling going towards the future because the rest of the world has been using NFC for a while. They've been using NFC in Africa. Okay, you can walk up to a soda machine and buy it. Just tap with your phone and buy one. And now we're going back. We're basically going back to like pulling out our wallet again, which I was so happy because at least at CVS I can do everything with my phone. Get a bag of gummy bears, take out my phone, tap, pay, walk out. Yeah.
This is like the most upset I've seen you.
So that's it. It's really silly. It's stupid.
I mean, it's stupid for us. For them as a company, they're trying to make money, and they're putting their financial desires over what the customer wants. The customers.
Well, everybody's going to profit. Everybody's going to get money at some point. So whatever. But it's like they're fighting change. Okay, Apple. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be using Apple Pay now, and they're basically actively fighting against it. I'm not the biggest fan of Apple. I mean, I have an iPhone. I have an Android phone. I use both at the same time sometimes. But I'd rather use Google Wallet than Apple Pay. That's my decision. But by doing this, they're blocking Apple Pay and Google Wallet and any mobile payments by making you download an app which you have to open and scan a QR code. So that's my rant on that.
I did use Apple Pay at McDonald's,
which you had a lovely time with.
It was awkward. I paid it. I put it down, and it's taking a little bit, and it's awkward looking like this with your phone and another thing, and you're looking at people like, hey, let's go, and I'm just waiting for this to, oh, bing, okay, and then they said it didn't go through, and I always automatically just turn the screen off. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. And then you have to back up. That's one of the things I didn't like at the keynote. They're like, oh, this is how easy you pay. Take out your phone, boop, you're done. No. You have to put your code in. Well, fingerprint. Put your fingerprint in, opens up, type in the app, or look for it, open it up, and put it on the thing. I bet I can take my debit card out faster than opening the app and paying.
That's actually still faster.
But still, I'm happy. Yeah, and I mean, it was cool, but I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that huge step. It's not like you order something on your phone and it magically appears via, I don't know.
Well, it's the principle of the thing. I don't even use that phrase right, but you see mom and pop stores like getting excited because Apple Pay, because people are a lot of people are ignorant about Android. They get excited because Apple's letting you pay with your phone now when people have been doing it for years. Um,
Yeah, I
so
know in Japan they've done it for over 6, 7 years now.
yeah, I mean at least I've been doing it for years. So people have been able to, but all these people are just now discovering that you can, which is okay. That's even better. But all these people now are getting excited and buying like NFC payments for their own stores, hairdressers, wherever, barbershops. Um, but now places like CVS don't want that to happen.
Now here's a question. Uh, with Apple Pay, would you be able to do the do you need the scanner, or can you do iPhone to iPhone? So for an example, can you go to a restaurant and they're taking your order on their phone, on a phone or an iPad, and then once you're done, you put your phone next to their phone or iPad and then pay that way.
So Apple Pay is multiple things. Um, it apparently that triggers my watch. Um, Apple Pay is not just the NFC payments. Yes, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus have NFC where you can tap to pay. Apple Pay is also if you're in an app and it asks, okay, do you want to use your existing card? And you just scan your thumbprint and done. That's also Apple Pay. If you're in the Target app, which I think is specifically one, you can go and check out and just use your Apple account. That's also Apple Pay. But yeah, in theory, somebody can come up. Um, it's not possible right now, but I can totally see with like iOS 9 um, being able to do peer-to-peer payments where, yeah, somebody can have, like they do with Square right now. Um, Actually, you can probably do that right now with Apple Pay because you can go to Starbucks and pay with Square Register, I think. And they see that you paid before you even walk in the store. You can sit out in the parking lot, order a grande whatever, and then pay with your phone.
You've never been more judgmental, grande, whatever.
I don't drink coffee. I don't like Starbucks.
At least say cup of coffee, grande, whatever.
Anyway, you walk and they'll see your little face pop up on their register, and they're like, "Hey, Andrew, here's a coffee."
Mm-hmm.
So Apple Pay, I can totally see Apple Pay being able to do that in the next version of iOS, which I'm totally okay with. Now, if Google can do that too, that'd be great. Um, but yeah, that's my piece.
You're very passionate about it. It seems like.
I am.
Cool.
Only because it lets people do stuff faster. That's what technology is. That's what technology is. Technology makes life easier. It's supposed to make life easier.
Mm-hmm.
I know people, my new job, I'm doing tech support. Some people are like, oh, I hate computers, but you imagine doing all your work by hand, filling out papers and then filing them. A couple keystrokes, you're done. That's technology. It's just making it easier, regardless of the occasional hiccups. Okay, your paper can get wet. You spill coffee on it. What are you going to do then? Okay, hard drives fail, but something's going to happen. So technology is making this stack of papers down to this.
I don't know. Some offices I go to, they're just still at this point.
And I mean that's. I mean, I'm working in the healthcare industry, so I'm helping maintain electronic health records. So the doctor's offices that would fill out stuff by paper, now everything is in a computer. That's all stored electronically, so that can be shared with other people, shared with other doctor's offices. So if you go across state somewhere, you'd be able to access your health records. Anyways, moving on. time for some entertainment and whatnot. Um,
I don't want to jump in, but do you have my video?
what video?
Do you see me?
Oh no! Every time I focus on you, you just go black. But I've been ignoring it.
Oh, I'm
So
black right now. Okay, we'll continue without my video. That's fine. Audio
yeah,
only.
I don't know. You got some issues over there.
I need to clean out my MacBook a little bit.
I'm on a nice shiny new Chromebook, which I'm in HD. Yep, that's a symbol for HD.
That's more corn on the cob. HD.
So a couple games I've been playing. Well, at least since the last podcast. Uh, First one is Shadow of Mordor, Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. It is based off of Tolkien's franchise. Well, not even franchise. Tolkien's properties versus like Peter Jackson's movies. It does take some elements from it, but essentially it's Batman Arkham Asylum mixed in with Assassin's Creed gameplay. So you play this ranger. This takes place basically right before Lord of the Rings. Think of it as Star Wars Force Unleashed. It takes place right before the trilogy.
Yeah.
So none of it is exactly canon, but it could happen. You play this ranger who, by common knowledge, if you watch the trailers, he gets killed, and then you come back as like a spirit of vengeance, and you just basically roam around Mordor. Well, you have objectives, and
What's your final goal? What's your purpose?
so you and your family, spoilers, you and your family get slaughtered in like the first 5 minutes. You get sacrificed by the Black Hand of Sauron, right in the beginning. So basically, he goes and kills your wife and son, and then you come back with a certain particular elf spirit, which I won't name for spoiler's sake. You would only know his name if you actually read the books. So if you didn't read the books, whatever.
You are just fired. Man, your books. You were too busy eating your grande whatever.
So you roam around Mordor, basically advancing the story, finding out. You're basically manipulating Uruks, which are orcs, but they're a different type of orc. You're just slaughtering them, stabbing them, beheading them, whole bunch of just gory stuff. They have what's called the Nemesis system, where certain people you encounter, well, a lot of people encounter and remember who you were. So I'm still trying to put together, but supposedly, like, let's say you throw an orc in the fire during a big battle, because you can be fighting up to 20 orcs at a time.
Oh my god.
Which is really fun. Once you get all the combos down, it's really fun. So let's say you go and throw one of the orcs falls in a fire, and then you're randomly walking across, and then this guy's like, "Oh, you remember me? You threw me in the fire. My face is all messed up." And then he's just a nameless orc, but then he has a name once you encounter him again. Then he's a captain. So basically, these people will remember you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no game over like with a lot of games. If you, this one's unique. So if they kill you, time just advances. So you see, there's basically like a chessboard of orcs in the menu. So you see like certain captains will challenge other ones. They're basically fighting amongst themselves. They're trying to recruit other orcs. So you'll see time advance if you die. Mm-hmm. And then if you, let's say you go back to the other orc that killed you, he'll remember you, and sometimes they'll be afraid that you came back, and sometimes they just get annoyed that you're still alive. But you can also control them, so you can have them fight for you, and then you can manipulate everything. you can have them become the war chief or one of the war chiefs. So they're commanding a whole bunch of other orcs. So then you basically build your army of orcs. And that's really it. The gameplay is really good. The story is really good up until the last 5 minutes of the game. And it was very disappointing at the end.
Is
It's
it?
like a,
Oh, go
it
ahead.
was like a really good movie, and they just blew it with the ending. Supposedly, they make up for it with some downloadable content, which is not even out yet, which lets you kind of resolve the whole story which you were working towards. But I don't know when that's coming out. You're probably gonna have to pay like $10 to $15 for that, so we'll see. But other than that, it's just fun going around killing orcs all day, slaughtering them. So you're saying
Huh? What
you
was
had a
I saying?
question about the game?
No, I just commented on uh, the end. I was gonna say what made it bad, but then you kind of explained.
What made it bad is spoilers again. You finally confront this guy, and it's not even it's basically it's not the true ending because you're waiting for the downloadable content, the DLC, to actually finish the story. So, as far as I'm concerned, the story's not done when you finish it
Mm-hmm.
as of right now. You finally face this guy, and then there's 3 QuickTime events, which the QuickTime events you've seen if you played Star Wars Force Unleashed is basically hit A to dodge, hit Y to jump and stuff,
Yeah.
and you basically press 3 buttons and then back to a cutscene. That's it. You're
Right.
finally you're finally ready to go fight the big boss, and then they just do 3 button presses and you're done.
Hmm.
hmm
Interesting.
All right, so I'm not even sure I want to talk about Destiny. I've been ranting a lot.
Yeah, you might wanna comment down on the ranting.
Let's see. Yeah, we've been going for 43 minutes so far. All right. What I'm excited about, still more Lord of the Rings stuff. Desolation of Smaug, the extended version comes out November 4th, so I pre-ordered that. I'll definitely be getting that with Amazon Prime. Um, so basically, the last movie comes out December, which we'll see how that goes. I heard the end of Battle 5 Armies is supposed to be like a 45-minute battle scene,
Wow.
which would be freaking epic.
We're watching that on IMAX, right?
IMAX, high frame rate, 3D.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna save Destiny for next time.
Yeah.
So back to you, and your blank screen. What do you think about Inbox by Gmail?
I absolutely loved it. I haven't used all of its features yet, but um, ever since I think a year or two ago, Gmail did that whole thing where it would give you your actual emails on one tab, and then the next tab would be your. Actually, let me tell you exactly what the tab is. Hold on one second. I'm opening up Gmail. Okay, there's different tabs. Social, promotions, and primary. My primary just was all the emails I get, and throughout the years, I got a lot of spam emails, and they were all going social and what you call it, promotions. I just ignored them because they were in the background. It didn't bother me. And but the one thing that did bother me was this is me being lazy, basically. On the iPhone, you know that little bubble on the top right that says how many emails you have?
hmm
The moment it says like 899, that's kind of
Oh
annoying.
wow. Oh
I
okay.
didn't, yeah. So first thing Inbox did, downloaded it. You just swipe right, and just everything in that category is marked as done. You're done with it. Goes into another folder. You're done with it. And all of a sudden, I went from $8.99 to like 15, and that included my work email. That's just me. Or I can just open a bunch of these emails up and unsubscribe to them, and I'll get less and less emails each time. But Inbox doesn't lets me not do that.
Hmm.
Plus, I like the fact that if you get an email with attachments, the attachments automatically show up. You see, whatchamacallit, hold on one second.
You see like an inline preview of the content, right?
Yeah. So you see the pictures, like, if I get an email from here's an example. I got an email from my boss today with pictures that he wanted me to archive, and they all show up. I know exactly what they are. I look at them. Don't even need to open the email, and I know exactly what job it is, and I like it.
Okay. Hey, just try muting your video for a second, unmuting it, see if that helps. I think your internet's so bad that it's just not. It just gave up.
Yeah, I don't know what my internet is being like that.
Oh my. So yeah, that's why I gave you an invite specifically, because I knew you had at least like 1,000 emails.
Mhm.
The only thing is, I can't use Chrome at work, which other than that, I would be on Inbox all day. So I'm stuck using normal Gmail and Firefox because Inbox
One
only
thing I forgot
supports
to
it.
say. One thing I forgot to say. My work email is not supported on Inbox. I just use my personal email on it.
Yeah, Google Apps does not support it yet.
Yeah.
I heard a little tip today, well, on Lifehacker, because I totally get tips. That I know it won't work for you if you got an invite from Google themselves, like me. If you got somebody to sign in on your phone with Inbox, then that basically enables Inbox for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know, next time if somebody at your work or somebody at my work, if they want Inbox, I basically have to add their Gmail account to my Inbox. You can take it off after, obviously, but that just literally turns Inbox on for them. It can only be somebody who is directly invited. So even if I gave you an invite,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do it for them.
No.
So, but yeah, I like it. It doesn't have 100% of the functionality from Gmail because I have a whole bunch of filters. Every time my wife sends one, I have a label just for her automatically adds because we actually email a lot. We text a lot. We email a lot to each other. If I ever send an email with an attachment with a picture,
Mm-hmm.
I have it automatically set to if it's a JPEG, it'll add a picture label to it. Same with music. Anything with Facebook's labeled Facebook, so everything's super organized, and then all those labels just go out the window with Inbox, which generally I'm okay with because a lot of stuff I just delete anyway. But I just like having notifications. I know next time you order something from Amazon, of course, have it go to your Gmail. You'll see it give you tracking info right there, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
With Android specifically, like if you use reminders, I'm just looking at my inbox right now. If you use reminders with Google Now, they integrate right in with Inbox, and they're just put in line right with them. So I have like a reminder I have a reminder like buy brake pads for my car, so I can see that was snoozed 3 days ago. so I can put it back at the top of my list. But okay, if I just do a voice command, remind me to pick up groceries today after work, it'll show up right in inbox. So works well on iPhone too if you use the Google app, which I highly suggest because it gives me alerts for traffic in the morning if there was an accident or something. You don't even need to have the Google app open; just have it use your location, which doesn't even use that much power. Use less power than people think. But yeah. All right, so one last thing is Google Music. I know you don't have all access where it lets you stream anything you want, but
I use Spotify.
Yeah, but Google bought Songza, which lets you play music based on your mood. They bought them like 6 months ago, so finally they integrated that with Google Music. So anybody that subscribes, like me, I get a new section in my app now that lets me play by mood and everything.
How much is your monthly payment for that?
I'm paying a promo price of like $8. I think it's $9 for everybody else because I signed up like immediately.
Yeah. See, that's why I like Spotify. Spotify is $8, or I think $9, and you just not only have the option to listen to whatever, well, not whatever, but whatever music they have in their system, and also there's all these people who make. That's one of my favorite things to listen to. But people make playlists and have them be public. So let's say I want to listen to 90s nostalgia, for example. You go look for it, and all these people, all these kids our age, are making their playlists, and you listen to it. You're like, oh, I remember that song. It's one of my favorite things about Spotify. It's like it's more than just a music app. It's also a social media app.
All right, and here's my argument. Basically, there are public playlists. If you had all access, you can subscribe to my playlist. My wife has a couple of my playlists. Second of all, I can store whatever music I want. I can store up to 20,000 songs for free. So all those rare songs, let's say, I don't know, the Beatles. A lot of companies, you know, it was big news when iTunes finally got the Beatles. Up until then, if you had the Beatles on your computer, you didn't really have a way to listen to them unless you put them on like your iPod, or you couldn't really buy them anywhere. So now I have all those songs, all those rare songs, all those B-sides uploaded that you won't be able to buy. So those are integrated right with my library. So there, that's my argument.
We're not arguing. You are just on fire today. You're sitting there with your grande whatever, listening to your Spotify.
But again, yeah, or like I like Kanye West. All his mixtapes and stuff that he had, like a little after he came out, you can't buy those anymore. Yeah. Even John Legend, he's had some songs that you were only able to buy for a month, and they just disappeared. So I have those. They're mine. They're uploaded. I can get them. So yeah. So I think that is it. Got anything else to add?
Nope.
Okay. So since you're nice and blank, nobody can see you anyway. Like the past half hour.
My computer's like, okay, I'm tired of your face. We're done here.
Is that what I'm hearing right now?
What?
I think I can hear your laptop, but anyway.
The fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, fan's going crazy.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Little one viewer who is there right now.
Who's the viewer?
I can't tell, but it could totally be somebody who put it on and walked away.
What if it's me?
You know,
Does
I
it
think
count me as VR?
I think it's me. That's the embarrassing part.
Huh?
I think it's me
Is it?
because I had the YouTube channel open. But anyway,
Okay.
oh, it could not be. Maybe. Anyway, thank you, one person. Um, yeah. So enjoy your day, and until next time, peace out.
Adios.